You come here to hurt me, and I come here to maim you.
That's what I've heard for 7 years. I hurt you.
You might as well go ahead and admit it. You might as well own up to the philosophy for some of you, and that is that life sucks, and then you die.
I doubt you've ever been in a real street fight. By the looks of that pretty face, I don't think you've ever taken a punch before in your life.
Now it's eye for an eye. Now it's you take one of mine and I take two of yours.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
It's Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday with Jonathan Hood. WWE, AEW, MLW, NWA, New Japan, the Indies, and more. It's the Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday show with Jonathan Hood.
What's up, everybody, and welcome in to Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. I'm Jonathan Hood. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram as well as Twitter at Wrestling TWT. We've got a YouTube page, youtube.com. Look for Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday as well, and merchandise as well. Merchandise for Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday is available as well. Just check it out on Twitter and Instagram. Click that link tree in my bio, and boom, you're right in. Get yourself a tumbler, get yourself a mug, or if you live in the Midwest or the Northeast, you might need a sweatshirt or a hoodie because it's snowy and cold. So check it out, Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. The merchandise. Represent the podcast you listen to by checking out Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. Serena Deeb, longtime pro wrestler, now with AEW and really making some headway in AEW, is going to join me here. And we'll talk a little bit about her career, where she is now at AEW, the state of AEW, and so much more. So check it out. My conversation with Serena Deeb. We remember her in the WWE and now really doing some great things in AEW. We'll ask her about that and more right here on this edition of Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. Glad that you're with us here for TWT. Jonathan Hood with you on ESPN Chicago, as we are pleased to be joined by the professor of professional wrestling, the woman of 1,000 holds, Serena Deeb. Don't forget, you can catch AEW on Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite on TBS at 7 o'clock Central, as well as AEW Rampage on TNT on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central. We are with Professor Deeb. She joins me, Jonathan Hood, here on ESPN Chicago. Serena, it is my pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, John. Do you prefer Jonathan or John?
It doesn't matter. Just pay me. I don't care.
There we go. Okay. Well, thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on with you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Pin me, pay me. Just pay me. Whatever it is. It doesn't matter, right?
Pin me, pay me.
Yeah, that's how I feel. We're both in entertainment, so it's the same thing, right? Just pin me, pay me, just pay me. That's all I care. It doesn't matter what you call me. So
I feel you.
So, Professor, how is life for you right now?
Life for me right now is great. As I mentioned, I'm staring out the window to a snow-covered Chicago. Pretty freaking beautiful outside. Career-wise, I'm loving it. I'm at the top of my game right now, I believe. I'm working really hard. I'm having so much fun. I feel like I've been wrestling I've been in the business for 17 years. Mm-hmm. A lot of different chapters, a lot of different companies, a lot of different this and that, whatever. But AEW feels like home. AEW is a special place. I feel like one of the lucky ones that I ended up settling there, and just in terms of, I have so much on my mind, so many ambitions, and the ambitions keep growing. Sorry, I had to decline a call there. My ambitions keep growing, right? Like, in ring, I'm not even close to what I want to be. Like, I'm constantly training. I'm constantly trying to innovate and come up with new things, character-wise. Same thing. I'm in an acting class. I'm teaching myself video production and video editing right now, creating my own content, putting videos out. I'm on the brink of hopefully opening a wrestling school.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many ambitions, and going through periods of your life, which like I think everyone can relate to, where you're just like not inspired and not motivated in any way. Like I feel like I'm at like the very opposite end of that right now, and it's empowering and it's inspiring, and I feel that the more I stay going forward, like the more stuff is coming to me.
Serena, the way I look at things, especially with your program with Shida, what I like is that it was a long program. It wasn't a one-off. Well, how important is that for you, or just for the women's division, that you're just not just getting a match here, match there, but there's a story to be told?
It's very important. I think that was the thing for a while, where it was just one-off matches. And the fact that, Tony embraced wanting to do more and wanting to put some deeper storytelling in there is really cool. Hopefully that continues, for other people as well. I think, just from an emotional investment standpoint for the fans, like, one-off matches are great, especially if they're dream matches, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega. I mean, that's a dream match. People want to see that, and given that even one time is people are going to love it. But I think, historically speaking in wrestling, like if you look back on like the Attitude Era, for example, I mean there were stories and feuds that went on for a year. And people stayed emotionally invested as long as there was something compelling to pay attention to. So I think it's a great sign, and I've seen it also across other stories in the women's division, and as of late, it's great. I think wrestling fans, a lot of wrestling fans appreciate that.
Serena Deeb with me, Jonathan Hood, here on ESPN Chicago. Don't forget to catch AEW when it comes to your area. AEWTix.com is where you go to get your tickets and information. AEW Tix, and the professor joins me, Jonathan Hood. So your sit down with Jim Ross, I think, was a defining moment. Not in your career, because you've had a long career, but just in AEW, where you're asking Jim, longtime announcer, Hall of Famer, who's more dominant than you, and he couldn't come up with anybody. This is with already a talented roster, and he was flat-footed. Like, you got him, Serena. Like, he couldn't come up with anybody else more powerful than you. What was that moment like for you, just to be in that promo, to be able to get that time to speak?
Super. Jim's one of my favorite people. I have obviously a lot of respect and love for him. I think he's the greatest to ever do it. To have that sit down with him, I mean, especially growing up a fan in the Attitude Era and watching all of those sit downs back in the day, sitting down with Jim Ross is not like an everyday event. I mean, that's like a special thing to be able to experience. And him, sitting with me and giving me that time, and, and that energy, like it was really, really, really amazing. I've kind of put him on the spot with that question, and, I know he has a lot of respect for my work, and, you could hear it on commentary every time I come out. He's always saying really kind words, and, he knows my journey, and he's known me since I started, in OVW in 2005. So, I mean, I think, I don't know, the whole moment was really special. Getting to do a sit down with Jim Ross, it's quite legendary, right? And I felt empowered in that moment. very empowered. And like, you know, a lot of people in wrestling say, oh, I'm the best. And, you know, I kind of like try to embody a little bit more of this mentality of like, you know, don't walk around saying you're the best all the time. Like, let other people say praise you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's just so overdone, and it's so, you know, but in that moment, that felt right, you know, to say, is there anybody here on my level? Because I truly believe there isn't. And it felt genuine, and it was empowering.
I've seen your personality go dark before, so I've seen this in your career, but I think that there's something that's completely different in your personality in AEW than other places. I mean, you are putting people in the Serena Stretch Club, which I would say, do you have merch? Do you have Serena Stretch merch? I think people can get behind that. So, I mean, was there a breakthrough, or was there a moment that's like, you know what, this is who I am now. I'm going to be the woman of 1,000 holds. I'm going to stretch people and really put them in a lot of pain. What was the point where you said, I'm going to be this person?
Great question. And no, there's not merch yet, but Serena Stretch Club, yeah, I think there should be.
Yes.
So we'll work on that for you.
Okay, I think we can all get behind that as fans, though, Serena. That's my point. Like, I could see like a sea of fans saying, "Yes, stretch her. Yes, definitely stretch this person." People like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, I veered into this more like submission and technical based style over the past couple of years, and it's like clicking. It's I don't know, in my brain, it's just really, really clicking, and it's like I really enjoy it, like the details of it, right? Like if you watch a Bret Hart or a Dean Malenko or an Eddie Guerrero and Stone Cold Steve Austin, like the technical, I mean, like technical wrestling to me is like is my absolute favorite style, and obviously that's why I'm embracing it, and I'm trying to embody it as best as possible. Bryan Danielson, there's something about it. It's the attention to all these little details, because if you miss one little detail, even if it's like a step, it changes it, right?
Yeah.
So there's something like I just have so much respect for that style, and so I've really stepped into that, and I'm trying to become one of the best in that venue, right? Honestly, a lot of what's coming out of me right now, character-wise and personality-wise, is real. You know, I spent a few years coaching. A lot of positives of that chapter, a lot of gratitude for that chapter. But there was a lot of BS, and there was a lot of dealing with, you know, difficult personalities with I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like,
yes, go on.
Sorry. This younger generation, right? Like, they're entitled. They're entitled, and they complain, and they, you know, all this stuff. So like a lot of my content right now is very real. It's real emotion coming out. It's like you guys don't even know what I don't say this with bitterness at all. Like, I am very like proud of my journey and grateful for the struggles that I went through. I'm saying this with like you don't even know what it was like to come up in 2005, 2006, 2007, how hard it was for women, like the pressures that were put on women, all this stuff, and how good women have it today, and they still complain, and they still, you know, so like a lot of what's coming out of me right now is real stuff, because coming up then, you know, what would it be, 17 years ago now?
Yeah.
Those of us that came up in that generation, man, like, obviously the challenges change, and now we have social media, and there's all these other stresses, and so things evolve and change and stuff. But I mean, just from an in-ring, like, female wrestler standpoint, like, a lot of these girls couldn't hack it then. So, what I'm projecting is truth. It's like, I'm still here. I'm still showing up, like, wanting to elevate my game every single day. And there's not a lot of people left from that generation, and I'm standing strong, and I ain't going anywhere. I got a lot of years. I got a lot of fuel left in the tank. Any
names you'd like to give? You want to break the internet with me? Any names? Let's break the internet together.
Let's break the internet together. Nah, I'm a vault on that stuff. But I observe and I know what's up.
Hey, so you worked in Shimmer with Dave Prazak. And he just went into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. Any memories of working in Shimmer?
Some of the best memories of my career. Absolutely. Right here in Chicago, Berwyn Eagles Club. Funny little venue. If you've never been there,
oh yeah,
it's pretty entertaining, that venue. I just loved those weekends. They were long, they were tiring, they were painful. I mean, I just said in an interview the other day, like, Monday morning after 4 tapings, Saturday, Sunday, like, you'd be walking through the airport, your body's just broken, you're just, like, everything hurts. You just had 4 matches over 2 days, and it was exhausting, and it was grueling, but it was but honestly, the sisterhood there, really special. A lot of those women that I shared those weekends with, I'm still in touch with on a very regular basis, daily, weekly, what have you. Sarah Del Rey, we were co-coaches together. Like, I have so much respect for what Dave did with Shimmer, because at that time it was like, it was like the Diva Search era, and obviously, like, mainstream wrestling, TV wrestling was a completely different look and feel. And then Dave stood by the fact that he wanted awesome women's wrestling, and that was his vision, and that's what he created. And it reached. I had an autograph signing yesterday where somebody showed up and he said, I used to come to Shimmer all the time, and I just wanted to come and see you again and show you my respects or pay you my respects. And that meant so much that there was a fan base that really stood by her sides, like, through all of that, and can acknowledge, like, how hard those women worked at doing something different, like producing great wrestling, despite how you look, despite any of that stuff, right? Which AEW is doing right now as well. It's like everybody's different, and I just think that, those were some of my favorite weekends of my life. It would take me a week to recover physically, mentally, emotionally, and everything, but Chicago for me is really a special wrestling town because of Shimmer, and I owe a lot to Dave Prazak, and that stems back to CM Punk. Like, CM Punk was the reason that he helped me get on Dave's radar, and Dave gave me a chance, and then it took off from there, and I became pretty regular there. And I mean, so respect to Punk, respect to Prazak. I appreciate both of them, and I appreciate Shimmer, and I appreciate Chicago.
Serena, last thing, and I appreciate your time. So there's two champions. There's Dr. Britt Baker. There's Jade Cargill. And I know that your trophy is breaking bones and stretching people. I think that's clear now that you're very dangerous, and that even though you're a woman of 1,000 holds, you are trying to send a message. So do you have a target on either one of these women, Baker or Cargill?
I have a target on everybody. I do not. I don't. You know what? I'm targeting everybody right now. Like whoever wants to step up, whoever thinks that they could step up, that's my target. The Owen Hart Cup, that's my target. Britt, that's my target. Jade, that's my target. It's across the board, right? It's the whole women's division for me. I don't choose one. I am out to prove that I am the very best amongst our division, and whatever comes my way, whoever steps in my path is going to be my target. So I wouldn't choose between them. I will just say across the board, this division, I've put them on notice, and I don't know what the next few months are going to look like, but I think there's going to be some people that will definitely experience the Serena Stretch Club and experience Deeb's Dojo, and I'm out to prove exactly what I've said numerous times on this call, that I'm the best.
Lastly, for those that don't know, your last name has a special meaning. What does Deeb mean?
Yeah, so Deeb, thanks for bringing that up. Deeb, so I'm half Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know that. I'm half Arabic. My father was Palestinian and Lebanese. Very proud of that part of my heritage. Deeb means wolf in Arabic. And I posted, you're probably referring to my post the other day, but posted something, Deeb means wolf. It symbolizes strength. And, I love the meaning behind my last name.
Mm-hmm.
It really empowers me, and I think in my post I put something along the lines of, wolves eat sheep, and I'd rather be a wolf amongst a bunch of sheep, and keep running, because I'm faster than all of you, and I'm going to catch you, and I'm the wolf.
That fits, definitely. AEW Dynamite on TBS Wednesdays at 7 o'clock Central Time. And, of course, AEW Rampage as well on TNT. And whenever AEW comes to town, AEWTix.com is where you go. They're going to be here in Chicago at the Wintrust Arena, of course. And, of course, you guys travel, AEWTix.com is where you go. Professor, this has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on with us here in Chicago.
John, thank you so much for having me. Very special to be with you today.
Great conversation with Serena Deeb with us here on Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, youtube.com. Look for Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And also, don't forget on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling TWT. Love to have more followers there on Wrestling TWT on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget our merchandise, Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday. Hey, it's the show that the experts listen to. Great conversations, great interviews like this one with Serena Deeb. Hey, we are from the wrestling capital of the world, Chicago, Illinois. There's been so many great shows happening in Chicago, snowy Chicago right now as I look out the windows of downtown Chicago. Thanks so much for listening, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to check out the podcast, YouTube, merchandise, everything else for Tuesday, Wrestling Tuesday.